So let's talk about the studio space for a second, why we have one, why it makes sense for us, how we got one, and if even having a studio space like this makes sense for you.
Cover it up, you like to play your own game. Cover it up, don't let them know what you're thinking. I bet you never tell them how.
So I didn't start off in a space like this. I started off while I was selling insurance full-time. I got into what's called a business incubator. Here we call it the Seed Center. And they give you some subsidized rent for startups and for small businesses whenever you're just kind of getting the ball rolling. So I was paying, I think, $350 a month maybe, is about what it was, for 300 square feet of space. I had one desk, a little L-shaped desk, a filing cabinet, and 2 chairs. And that was it. That's what I started with. After being in that space for a while, I realized the direction my business was going was shooting predominantly weddings. Now I was doing some commercial work, but to be honest, in this area where I'm at that time, either one, my work was not up to par yet with what commercial businesses were wanting, or at that time, commercial companies just weren't wanting to spend enough on me. So now I'm doing more commercial work, but at the time, it just didn't make any sense. I decided I was done meeting in the conference room, I was done meeting in my cubicle style office. I wanted a creative space to be able to meet with clients, specifically with brides and couples. So I had 2 options. I could either find a cool creative space somewhere in the Lake Charles area, or I could save that money up and start working from home and just, for the time being, meet with clients in Starbucks and things like that. So I searched high and low to find the perfect creative space. I thought about buying, I thought about leasing, I thought about splitting spaces, all that stuff, and it was just too expensive. So I realized at that point it didn't make sense for me to just jump right into an office space. So I got all my stuff, moved out of the Seed Center, moved into the 2nd bedroom of our house, finally got everything set up. Took me like 3 days to get everything moved in, fitted in there, all my gear, my computer, my giant 6-foot desk. Maybe a day after I got everything moved in, I got a phone call. It was from the owners of one of the spaces I had called about in the downtown area, and I'd never heard back from. I kind of just looking at it assumed it was gonna be pretty expensive. So they told me the space was still available, and then they told me the price, and it was substantially less than any of the other places I had looked at. So I went, okay, let's check out the space. You know, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. Came out here, checked out the space, and it was a dump. I think I have some pictures I'll throw up right here. The floors looked terrible. There was construction equipment everywhere. My favorite thing to remember is that the toilet at the time, apparently the handle had broken. So the last tenant took one of those braided charging cables and he tied it off to the chain on the inside and just kind of draped it outside of the toilet. So whenever you flush it, you just pull it, and that was how you flush the toilet. And we just wrote out a list of whatever we needed changed, and she was like, cool, sounds good. We'll take care of it. So then I had to address the problem of how are we gonna afford this? And so I called up a friend of ours, Maggie Bradshaw, who's a photographer. And I was like, hey Maggie, we talked about a studio space a while back. You said if I ever found one, you'd want to split it. I think I found one. So let's talk about why we needed this space. The first thing we needed was a creative space to be able to meet with clients, something that looked a little stylistic, that had a little flair to it, that wasn't just a cubicle. The second thing I needed was a safe place to store my equipment that wasn't gonna clutter up my house. I also like to be able to separate my home and my work life, especially now that I have a son. I have a bad habit of working till like 2 a.m. and not spending time with my wife, not spending time with my son. So having my editing station up here keeps me from doing that at home. I can still do small little tasks here and there and take care of administrative work off my laptop, but I don't do any big editing, anything that's just gonna suck all my attention in while I'm at home. And there have been a couple extra benefits that I didn't expect at all from having a space in a downtown area like this. The first one is advertising. So since we got a logo on the front of our studio, I get calls to book weddings and stuff like that every now and again where they're like, oh yeah, we don't know who you are. We just saw your logo downtown. The other added benefit, which is kind of a little less tangible, is that it has prompted me to be more creative and it's prompted me to create more. That being said, it's been a huge blessing and an awesome piece to our business. So let's do a walkthrough. So this is where we meet with our clients. We've got little bride guides out for the brides that we meet with here. 2 chairs over there, couch over here. This couch was from Target. The chairs were from Anthropologie. and everything else I think is from Amazon. But this couch is so comfy. We've got this area set up to the back, and then on the opposite side of this is our shooting space. So this is our shooting space right now, and we're still in the process of setting it up. So let me show you what's going to be happening. So right up here, we're gonna be having some backdrops that come down, that roll down from the ceiling. We're also gonna have 3 right there. So over here, it's going to be black, white, and gray. Over here, we're gonna have kind of some seasonal colors. And then we're also going to be having a regular rolling backdrop that will also have seasonal colors on it. This TV is gonna be put on a rolling cart for events and for showings for clients. These paintings are going away, and then this random column has been here ever since we moved in, and it's honestly gonna be more trouble than it's worth to pull it out, so we're gonna leave it there for right now. And so next to the meeting area, if we come back to this curtain, we have our main office area. Mine is covered in equipment and gear right now because I just shot a wedding yesterday and I haven't put everything back. This is Gracie's area. Gracie is the newest photographer who has joined our team here at 318 Pujo. This is the first sign for my original company, Harp Creative Media. My sister-in-law cut this out of aluminum from like Hobby Lobby, I think, and then put it on some vintage wood from some old desks at the college she went to. Pretty sweet. So that's pretty much the basic rundown of everything going on in our studio, how we got it. I'm also thinking about doing a gear breakdown of everything that we're using right now. So again, if that's something you want to see, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to put something like that together, but only if it's something you guys want to see. So I'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.